Lana Clark here with Century 21 Americana.
Hi, I'm Kevin Pham with New American Friendly Reverse Mortgage Division.
And Kevin, I just wanted to, talk to you today. What's happening with baby boomers today? Like, what's going on?
Actually, Lana, thank you for asking that. We're noticing that a lot of baby boomers right now are in the transition stage in their life. So a lot of their kids have grown up and they're living in this either two-story house or a
Bigger houses.
3,000 square foot house. And so a lot of them they feel like they're stuck where they are right now and they don't know what resources and tools are available for them to be able to transition. Some of them do, some of them don't. But those that do are really just learning how to take advantage of programs that are out there. But to answer your question, Lana, we're seeing a lot of baby boomers right now transition, into the right size property.
So you were talking smaller houses, single-story homes, all of the above?
Everything.
Okay.
We're talking about, them transitioning to a single-family home. We're seeing that a lot of them transitioning to move closer to family and friends.
Right.
So they have a community, So we're seeing a lot of different reasons why a lot of baby boomers are transitioning and moving.
Okay. And what kind of options do they actually have that would help them in these, situations, or what can you, offer them?
Well, there are a variety of options, right? Mm-hmm. We have our regular conventional mortgages. We have certain, government type programs like VA loans if they're veterans. We also have what we call our HECM programs.
Okay.
So a HECM is basically a home equity conversion mortgage,
right?
Which is a reverse mortgage. It's a HUD FHA approved reverse mortgage, where it allows people to be able to have the autonomy of being able to be in control of their mortgage. And so with this program, it just allows baby boomers that are on a set income and where their credit score isn't the greatest, right? But it allows them to be able to use that program as a way to transition to the right size property.
So I know personally, as real estate agent, there's a few, I guess, misconceptions about that and about the reverse mortgages. And like you said, it's backed now, FHA, right? Mm-hmm. So they should feel very secure and know that it is a program that is watched over now, and it's not just something that you, because a lot of people don't realize that you can actually purchase homes with it. There's a lot of people that don't know. There's a lot of misconceptions. They're saying that they can't, leave it to their kids, if they do pass and so forth. What can you elaborate on that?
Well, so like you mentioned, the HECM program, which stands for Home Equity Conversion Mortgage, it is a HUD program.
HUD-backed program, yeah.
And it's insured by FHA.
Right.
And so a lot of rules have changed with this program where lenders, first of all, can't be entitled to people's properties anymore.
Go. Yeah.
That's one. So only the owners are entitled. The other thing too is we're realizing that, people don't realize that with reverse, we don't lend like 60, 70, 80% loan to value. We're very limited to how much we can lend because there are some equity we need to protect, right?
Obviously.
Not just for ourselves, but also maybe the heirs. So to answer your question, you were talking about heirs not having anything, right?
Right.
Usually, in most cases, if people get into this program, and depending on how they use the program, right?
Yeah.
There's a way for them to retain equity, whatever's left for their heirs.
And you can still pay on your mortgage as well with that. You can take advantage however you want. Correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the benefit of this program is you're in control of your mortgage.
Right.
Not the lender. You can make any amount of payment. Yes. And what's even great is that, even if you can't make a payment, you won't ever have to worry about losing your home.
Right.
It affecting your credit or the fact that, you'll get charged these late penalties and things, right? In a regular mortgage. So that control piece, I would say, is probably the biggest peace of mind that clients can have in learning about this program.
Okay. Yeah. Fabulous.
And then your other question was about, how is it that, people feel about them losing their home, right, with this program? The great news is because they're still on title and they're the only ones on title, right? they can decide what they want to do with this program. They can get out of it, sell their home and get out of it. They can basically stay in there as long as they need to until they pass. And then their heirs will have options, which what we can educate them about. And whatever equity is left goes to their heirs. So it's not like they're giving up the home.
Right.
Many people think just because you have this program, the lender takes the house, right? That's not correct.
Yeah, that's not
The
correct.
client is still in control. It's their home, and they can determine what they want to do with this program.
Which is great. It's just giving them more options
And control.
and control. Yes.
Any other questions regarding like what other people can use this program for at all?
Can they use the program to maybe help with their family? Like in other words, with their kids, if they're looking to purchase homes and so forth as well? I mean, is that something they can do? Or
So usually when clients use this program, right, they take the equity out of their home.
right.
That equity that they take out, is usually not, there's not something they have to pay taxes on because it's not considered income.
Okay.
So we always do, because we're not financial advisors, we do
Correct.
tell our clients they need to speak with their financial advisors, but or their tax advisors, right? But a lot of what we're seeing a lot right now is what a lot of clients we're seeing are doing actually is they're taking equity out to help their kids buy their first home.
Okay.
And we call that basically creating generational wealth.
Correct.
And what's great about that is while these baby boomers are alive, they can see what their kids are doing with that money, right? So they're taking tax-free funds out, helping their kids buy their first home with that deposit.
Creating generational wealth,
Exactly.
which is really important,
It
especially
is.
with young people today.
Yeah. And most importantly, it's having agents, especially real estate agents that understand this program that can help their clients see how they can use equity as a retirement tool to help their kids create that generational wealth.
Yes.
And I'll be honest with you, Lana, you're probably a few rare agents that I see who want to learn to help their clients to create that generational wealth.
Well, times change and things are constantly moving in different directions. And I like to know and keep up with everything that's going on. So, I can give them some options and they, knowledge is power, right?
Yeah.
So you have to have that to be able to, kind of let them know maybe this might be a good option for you. Obviously there are some parameters and so forth, but you just never know. And people don't always get the right information to make those decisions for themselves.
Absolutely. And remember how we were talking earlier about the baby boomers transitioning right now when you asked me what type of programs are out there? And I mentioned you a few of them, right? Well, HUD, which is amazing, but part of the Recovery Act in 2014, they developed something called a reverse purchase program, where clients could actually use this program to actually purchase a home.
Which, yes.
Yeah, it was part of the Recovery Act after we had that big mortgage, crisis in 2008, right? So when HUD came out with this, reverse purchase program, it's such a great solution for many baby boomers to realize, hey, you have an option to transition now. You don't feel like you need to be stuck in your home, but you could actually sell your home with an agent like yourself, right? Take whatever proceed is available.
Yes.
But not just that, but you could not have to take that proceeds and buy another house in cash so that you have no mortgage payment, right?
Correct.
Then you kind of end up with the same situation with only one source of income, right? So what you can do is you could actually sell your home through an agent like yourself, right?
Yes.
And then you could take the proceeds that you've made from the sale of the home, instead of putting all into another property with no mortgage payment, you could learn about the reverse purchase program where based off of your age and the purchase price, we will give you a certain percentage of funds with this reverse purchase. Correct. And all you need to do is come up with the difference.
Correct.
So for example, let's say you buy a $500,000 home. Okay. Let's say you purchase your $800,000 home and you made $500,000 after paying off the mortgages and realtors' costs and everything, right? And taxes and everything. And you end up with $500,000. Instead of taking that $500,000 to buy another $500,000 home, and let's say you're 75, let's say we give you 45% of your purchase price. So if you buy a $500,000 home and we give you 45%, that's probably, we're looking at about what, 230?
230.
Let's say it's 230, right? Well, guess what? All you need to do now is come up with 270, and you could purchase this $500,000 home for only 270. We'll give you 230, which equals 500. Now you can move into this $500,000 home with no mortgage payment.
With no mortgage payment.
No mortgage payment.
And you still have the balance of the funds.
Of the
so
230.
They're still liquid. Yeah.
So you still have 230 that you can either invest, give it to your financial advisor.
Yeah.
But what you've done is you now create another source of income just besides Social Security, right?
Yeah.
So what we try to do is we try to teach baby boomers to do three things. Look into how much equity they have that's just sitting there.
Right.
Number one. Number two, look at what they can do with that equity by creating generational wealth, helping their kids buy their first homes, or buying a vacation or a rental property to where they have another source of income.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So now they're not just living off Social Security. And then once they pass, now they've also left another property.
Passed on to their kids. Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's the generational wealth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's so many options.
There is.
You know? So I think as professionals, we need to provide them a service. Right. We need to provide them some education. Mm-hmm. We need to provide them some classes, some virtual classes, some seminars, mm-hmm. some webinars, some there's just so many things that we can do. So many things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's so many people out right now that do have that equity but don't know how to use it, you know? And these are positive ways that you can use it to actually build that generational wealth and also help you in, you know, your later years be mortgage free and have those extra dollars to be able to enjoy the rest of your life, right?
Absolutely.
That's the whole point, right?
Yes. I mean, we've always been raised and taught to always have our house free and clear by the time we pass.
Yeah.
Right? But during that time, we don't think about our retirement. We don't think about our long-term care. Mm-hmm. We don't think about our long-term benefits.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
So we don't realize that if we don't have our kids to take care of us, then we have to do this on our own.
Yeah.
Right?
And I don't have kids. I'm going to be having to do it on my own when I get older. So I mean, I always tell my husband, I'm like, what are we going to do? You know, we've got to think about this kind, kind of things. You know?
So right now is the time to start thinking about how to create generational wealth for you. And if you do have kids, for your heirs, but most importantly, for your long-term goal, right? Yeah. So for many years, we've just been taught, have your house free and clear so you can leave it for your heirs, right? But then that's all you're leaving them.
Right.
But most importantly, you don't get to see what they do with it.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So you're not helping them to create anything.
Right.
Right? They could spend that money for wherever they want.
Yes.
And you don't know.
And you don't know.
And then they use all the money up and
then
they have nothing.
Square one again.
Exactly. Right? And you've worked all those years throughout your whole life to be able to leave something for them.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Those mindsets are gone now.
Yeah.
Lana?
They are.
We got to make sure people understand it's not about leaving all this equity for your heirs or whomever you want to leave it to. It's about utilizing that equity to make it grow for you, to create
for you and your
opportunities.
Family. Yeah.
Exactly. And to leave more than just a simple home.
Right.
Right? So I feel that what you and I are doing as a team, Lana, is we're making an impact in our community.
Well, what I love about you too, Kevin, is that you are so knowledgeable. And like, for example, when you helped my clients, Vicki and Eddie, with their home, it was absolutely an amazing, amazing process. And they had no idea that they could actually purchase a home with a reverse mortgage. They had no idea. So you helped them and walked them through the whole process. And your patience and your knowledge was absolutely, 10 out of 10. Like, it was amazing with them. So I do appreciate what you do for my clients, because I know it does take a lot of patience sometimes, a lot of education. And I like to offer your services because I know, if it's not the right fit, you're going to let them know. If it's a good fit, you're going to say, yes, this is going to be a fantastic program for you. So that's what I love about working with you and knowing that you will help them, obviously, whether it's going to work or not.
Well, I appreciate that, Lana, because the one reason, like I said, I don't work with all agents.
Yeah.
I work with certain agents that have the same mindset as myself that want to provide a level of service. Service is very important.
It is.
Service is how we build our reputation.
Exactly.
It's how we build our loyalty. It's how we build connections, trust, and relationships, right? And
100%.
and so with Vicky and Eddie, it was amazing because I didn't know anything about them, but I had to ask questions. And the questions that I asked and the answers that they gave me, it helped me to say exactly what you just said, Lana, that it's not a fit for everyone, right?
Right.
But when I asked them those questions and they gave me the answers that I heard, I knew this was the right fit for them.
Right.
You see? And so I educated them more and I made sure they understood the concept of what the program is about. But here's the best part. They reach out to me all the time with questions still. And I'm there, and I've always told a lot of my clients and a lot of my referral partners, my job isn't to offer you a product. My job is to explain something to you. Well, first is to ask you questions, right? To see if it's the right fit.
Correct.
Then to see if this is the right program for you. But most importantly is to guide them and their heirs through this program for the rest of their life so that they have someone to turn to. So that when that process comes to an end, they need to know how to take that remaining equity out.
Correct.
And that's what I've done for your clients, for many of these other clients that I've helped and that I've made an impact, and I think that's something our community needs to do more of.
I agree. 100%.
We need to provide education. We need to provide resources. We need to provide examples, and the biggest challenge that I see is that many people aren't willing to open their minds.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah. And that's something I want to ask you too, Lana. Like, what do you see that's helping you help your clients to open their mind to get them in front of me?
I ask about their situations typically, and I kind of ask them a few questions about their lifestyle and what, and then I ask them a few questions about, how would you feel, about being mortgage free? How would you feel about having a little extra money to actually invest money in other things to build your wealth still, such as if, you could put it into stocks or whatever, live off the equity or whatever that you get, there's so many different options for them. And I don't think they realize it because I think, they get a little scared, everyone's a little bit kind of scared to do anything these days. So you kind of have to walk. I mean, even just, even if you're just purchasing a house, they get a little, it's just the uncertainty sometimes. And, but once you educate them and they realize that you're looking out for their best interest and you're just giving them options and I lay it out for them. I say, okay, these are your 3 options. This is what you can do. Now, what do you think is the best option for yourself and your situation? And I think because I give them the power back to them to decide, I'm just giving them all the information so they can make the best decision for themselves.
That's excellent because I think that's where you and I are so like-minded. Like I mentioned earlier, we're not here to sell a product or a home, right? We're really here to make sure people understand their options. But we can't provide them options if we don't know what those options are.
Correct.
Right? And I think that's where we've built such a great relationship, Lana, because you've taught me about real estate. I've taught you about the HECM programs that we have, right? Yeah. But I think most importantly, I think what we're doing is very different from any other agent or lender.
Yeah.
Is because we're not pushing anything on anybody.
No,
right?
no, it's not about that. It's about listening, learning, what they want and what they and what their needs are, and like I said, giving them their options on what's best for them, and then they can decide where to go from there. And most people are once they realize and they hear about it and they're like, oh, yeah, this actually is a great program, and this is something that may work for me. So, and you've proven that by helping quite a few clients of mine, with these programs.
Thank you.
So.
Thank you. And I think there's so much more we can do.
Yeah.
I think what we should do, right, is to educate more agents, more lenders, more financial planners, more estate planning attorneys, more other professionals, so that they can see that there are other resources out there, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And it's not just about you and I.
Yeah.
It's about realizing that there's people that we can help.
Yes, definitely.
And it doesn't matter how old they are.
No.
Like even someone who's younger has parents. Or they have grandparents.
Correct.
That need this information.
Oh, yeah.
So they need to know like what resources are out there.
Yeah.
And
I think they're the ones that are probably most confused about the program because I think a lot of the kids are the ones that are more worried about it than the adults, right?
Yes.
So it's actually better that we do talk to everyone, because then they're going to realize, this is a great program, and it does work.
Yeah.
And like I said, and then that's going to kind of help them with the misconceptions that there is out there in regards to it. And so the more people you talk to, the more people that learn about it, I think is brilliant.
Well, you make a good point. You said, these younger generations, right? They're probably the ones that has the biggest misconception, right?
Correct.
And that's why it's funny, because whenever I hear someone say, "Oh, this program is really bad. I don't believe in this program," right?
Yeah.
Guess what? The first question I always ask them, I always go, "What do you know about the program?"
Correct.
Or the product, right? And they're like, "Well, I just heard it's bad."
Exactly.
Right? They can't tell you what it is.
Yeah, you can't tell me what it is.
Yeah,
no,
right?
it happens all the time.
Yeah.
They're like, no, I heard that. No,
Yeah.
definitely don't want to do
Yeah.
that. And you're like, well, why?
So what do you think my next question is to people that say, "I hear it's a bad program"? What do you think the next question I say to them is?
What?
I always say to them, "So let me ask you a question. So would you go to a mechanic if you're having problems with your body aches or pains at all? Like, why aren't you going to the experts, right?
Right.
And not believe everything that you read,
Exactly.
or everything that you see on TV,
Yeah.
right? Why not go to the experts to get the facts?"
And that's why I give them you.
And that's
Because
why
you're the expert on their program.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
And vice versa. Like, I don't know real estate, but
Yeah.
let me tell you, real estate is such a key concept for people to actually create generational wealth.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a problem sharing this, and I've shared it with you, Lana, but I've been able to buy properties using the equity that I have in my home so that I can create a great retirement for myself, So especially the younger generations, they have to do it now.
Yeah.
I did this about maybe 25 to 30 years ago.
You did.
Where I took equity out and bought other properties because I knew that I don't have kids either.
Right.
I knew that my kids weren't going to take care of me,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So I have to create some type of generational wealth
Correct.
in order to create income so that I'm going to be able to afford that long-term care.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Or I may be able to afford maybe, for myself or my partner, assisted living.
I was going to say medical, assisted
you're
living,
right.
yeah.
Is another tool.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, so there's just so many resources that we just need to learn about, and I think what's so great about the relationships that you and I have, Lana, is that, we really do a good job at educating people.
I think we do. And I have a lot of people that come back to me because of that reason.
Yeah.
And they'll still come back to me like you said, your clients will come back to you and ask you questions later on. Mine do the same. And I love helping them. If they have questions, hey, no problem. I'm happy to help them and steer them in the right direction and give them the information they need.
Yeah.
And
you know what the best compliment is from a client? It's a referral.
It's a referral.
Yeah. Right?
Yep.
Like,
or them coming back over and over and over again to you,
Yeah.
So,
because they need a transition.
They need a transition.
Right?
Exactly.
They need, this house is too big, Lana.
Yeah.
You sold it to me 20 years ago.
Life happens.
Yeah.
Things change. You just never know. So,
well, talking about life, you mentioned something good that I really want to talk about. You're like, life happens, right?
Life happens.
Do you know what we don't do a good enough job at, Lana?
What?
We don't do a good enough job at preparing for life when something happens.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
So that's why
because people don't want to think about it.
Yeah. But here's what I always tell my clients, right? Don't get it when you need it. Get it when you don't need it.
Yes.
Right? Because this way you have it. And one other tool I wanted to share with you about this program, which is going to blow you away, but there are clients who are sitting on all this equity, tax-free, just sitting on it, right? But here's the thing. Remember what I said to you, don't get it when you need it. Get it when you, right? So did you know that you can actually get a HECM line of credit, a reverse line of credit, and with the HUD FHA programs that are out there, they have something called a growth rate, where clients could actually just get a home equity line of credit, reverse equity line of credit, let it sit there, and whatever interest rate we charge them for the money they use, that line of credit is going to grow at the same rate.
Okay.
And that's called the growth rate.
Okay.
It's not interest we're giving clients, but it's more money for them to have in their line of credit.
Right.
Right?
That
so
they
that
can use later
when
on.
they need it,
Yeah.
it's available.
Yeah.
And are you ready for this? The best part is that growth rate will grow whether the home value grows or not.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, even if the home value goes down, it's not going to affect the growth rate.
Okay.
It's whatever we charge them for the money they use is the same as what they're going to grow at.
Okay.
We've had clients where we've done this program for them like 15, 20 years ago. And did you know that their line of credit is almost as big as what their home was worth?
Wow.
Value-wise?
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, so they have
That's
that guarantee of knowing the fact that this money will always be available for them.
In their later days.
Yeah. And here's what's great. With this line of credit, right, because it is insured by FHA, right, if anything happens to us as a lender, guess what? FHA comes in and guarantees that line of credit is available.
It's still available for them.
Where do you have a guaranteed line of credit?
That's true. That's true.
Right? You and I, if we were to go to a bank and apply for a home equity line, and guess what? If that bank feels like the market is not safe or unstable right now, they could take that away from us anytime.
Yeah.
We could lose that. And if we used it, we still have to make payments no matter what.
Right.
So that's what I mean by getting the facts, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I mean by just learning what other resources and tools are out there.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And, like I said, knowledge is power. So we're just giving them all that knowledge so they can make the best decisions for themselves.
Yeah. And I think the biggest thing I want them to get out of this podcast that we're doing is realizing one most important thing is start planning for your retirement.
Yes.
It's never too late.
Yes. And that is huge because a lot of young people don't even think about it because obviously they're not even close to, retirement or older years. But yes, it is very important.
Yeah.
I definitely want to educate a lot of young people today to really start thinking about that while they're in their younger years.
And remember, what is it that when we were younger, what was it that we always wanted to do or have when we grow up? 3 things. 1, get married.
Yes.
Right? 2, have kids.
Yes.
3, be a homeowner.
Correct.
Right? That American dream of being a homeowner. So there's opportunities there.
There is.
And many people just don't realize that you don't have to wait until you pass to leave that legacy. You can actually build that legacy while you're alive.
While you're alive.
With your kids.
With your kids. Yeah. Fantastic.
Thank you so much, Lana.
No, thank you.
I appreciate this interview. I appreciate just this dialogue that we do.
You have to have dialogue, I always think it's always great to have this kind of conversations because not only does it help me, there are things that I don't think about either. Sometimes I have to be reminded, and you help me remind me of that.
And vice versa. I love real estate.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm all about real estate because I just feel that it's a really good tool to have that is a lot more stable than any other instruments that I believe that's out there. I don't dabble in the stock market as much, but real estate for me there's just so much growth. Yes. There's growth in equity. There's growth in development, in expanding or building on top of it. I mean, there's just so much you can do. You know? And now what I'm starting to see a lot of too is a lot of people are starting to even build ADUs.
Yes.
Yeah. Right? So that they have either another source of income or they can move their parents into.
I was going to say their families. Yeah. A lot of people are moving families into their homes too because, of, assisted living is so expensive,
Yeah.
So this gives them another option.
It does. It does. So thank you for
No problem.
today, and thank you for just giving me the opportunity to really express what I feel that our community needs, which is education.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Lana.